We're asked to determine the equation of the linear function that has a slope of -3/4 and passes through the point -3, 12. We're asked to write the equation in slope-intercept form with the form y equals mx plus b and then graph the line. So we know if we want the equation of a line in slope-intercept form with the form y equals mx plus b, we must determine the slope, which is equal to the change of y divided by the change of x, often referred to as the rise over the run, and we also need to know the vertical intercept or y-intercept, which is b. We'll notice how we're given the slope of -3/4, which I'm going to write as -3 over +4. So before we find the vertical intercept algebraically, let's actually graph our line on this grapher and see if we can determine the vertical intercept or y-intercept graphically. So we'll go to our live grapher. So we first want to select the line tool below, and now we'll click on the point -3, 12, which is here. Notice how a line appears, and now because the slope is -3 over +4, the change of y is -3 when the change of x is +4. So from this point we'll go down 3 units because the change of y is -3, and we'll go right 4 units because the change of x is +4. And we'll click, and notice how the line appears. Notice how the vertical intercept appears to be very close to 10, but not exactly 10. So we're not going to be able to determine the vertical intercept graphically on this question. Let's take this graph back to our presentation and show some work. Again, it appears that the vertical intercept or y-intercept is very close to 10, but not exactly 10. So let's find our vertical intercept algebraically to check this. There's a couple of ways of doing this. We could use the point-slope form of a linear equation and then solve for y, but let's stick with the slope-intercept form. Since we know the slope is equal to -3/4, we know our equation must be in the form of y equals -3/4 x plus b. And now from here, we also know our line contains the point -3, 12, and this point is on the line, and therefore it must satisfy the equation. So to find the value of b, the vertical intercept, we'll substitute -3 for x, +12 for y, and then solve for b. So that would give us the equation 12 equals -3/4 times -3, which I'll write as -3 over 1, and then plus b. So we have 12 equals, nothing simplifies here, so we have plus 9/4 plus b. And now to solve for b, we need to subtract 9/4 on both sides. So we'd have 12, or 12 over 1, minus 9/4 equals b. Obtaining a common denominator of 4, we'd multiply 12 over 1 by 4 over 4. So notice b, the vertical intercept, is equal to 48/4 minus 9/4, which is 39/4. So notice how our vertical intercept is not 10, it's 39/4, which is actually 9 3/4. But we'll go ahead and leave b in the form of an improper fraction of 39/4, which means the equation of our line in slope-intercept form is y equals -3/4 x plus 39/4. I hope you found this helpful.